Hey, this is Caleb Scott, and today I'm going to be giving a presentation on social anxiety. So, in a book called Interpersonal Communication by Corey Floyd, on page 258, chapter 8, it defines social anxiety as being a fear of not making a good impression on others. But it can also go beyond that. So, social anxiety, it's a word that covers many different levels of intensity for the state of being nervous around others. This can be something as usual as being, apprehensive on a first date. It can be being nervous at a job interview, for a presentation, or it can be being entirely consumed by fear to the point of where you can't make or maintain close relationships and really, really affects your life. So, social anxiety is a normal part of the average person's life, but when it affects your quality of life, there's a good chance it's social anxiety disorder. This differs in its persistence, ease of triggering, and usually it requires the help of therapy or drugs to manage. So, social anxiety manifests itself in many different forms. I can provide some examples from personal experiences here. Firstly, avoidant behavior. That's a big one. Avoiding socializing, friends. An example from my life would be I had a really close group of friends, and they would always message me to hang out, and I wouldn't respond. And so they'd end up having to come to my house and just pick me up if they wanted to do something with me. So, and it's not that I didn't want to go, it's just the anxiety would make something that you want to do with people you want to see seem like just all too much. And so that's an unfortunate side effect. Another issue can be communicating clearly. Even if you're a very well-spoken person, you can get in front of just one person and that can go out the window. You can really struggle over your words, trip over your words, and not be able to express what you're trying to say the way you would normally be able to. This can be because you're always kind of thinking in the background. You can get lost in your perception of what you think the other person is thinking of you, which, try to think about that and have a conversation at the same time, thinking two different things at once. It makes it hard to get through a sentence, so a lot of the times someone with that caliber of social anxiety will just learn to wrap up conversations as quickly as possible to avoid any form of embarrassment. Another example from my personal life would be I've actually in school been accused of plagiarism a lot. And that's because when you just talk to me, a lot of the times, because especially when I was younger, social anxiety would really get to me and I couldn't really say much. And and then, I've always, people have always said I'm a good writer. And so they would be like, you didn't write this because this isn't how you speak, and they didn't understand that there can kind of be cross ties there when you have social anxiety. But anyway, in conclusion, social anxiety, that's a normal part of life. Everyone deals with it, especially when you're starting out in life. You get a lot of social anxiety, or I think most people do when they're younger especially. There's a lot of new things. Like my examples earlier, dates, job interviews, all those big things. But the main difference between social anxiety and social anxiety disorder is that the second one deeply affects your quality of life and can result in you being entirely reclusive and missing out on things you shouldn't. So I guess to end this off here, I'll just say that there are ways that you can make it better and still live life to the fullest. And so that's social anxiety. Thank you.